So here's where I'm going to make my impassioned plea to all the Board of Education members.
This was voted on by
the Board of Education.
All your Board of Education members. So the Board of Education members, the last 2 years, they've been in the last 2 years. There's, I won't name the names. I don't want to embarrass them, but they voted this in. They approved this.
Yes.
And they're the ones that are pleading for more tax dollars.
More tax dollars.
Oh, God.
So what I'm going to make a plea.
I'm in the wrong world. I need to get out of private industry and go to the taxpayer money industry.
So what I'm going to make a plea to the 5 Board of Education members is no more administrative raises.
Wow, that's a big number.
Until we pull our grades up.
What does that mean up?
Okay, so we are...
Does that mean 0.1% up?
No. I think we need to be, before there's a raise, let's even be fair, in the top 1/3.
Okay.
Because right now they're in the bottom of the middle. They're
37
is the bottom third.
36.54 is the bottom third.
Yeah, so we'll just say 37th is 37th
Sorry.
is the bottom third.
Okay.
Okay? So they're 36. So they're in the very last school in the middle third. Get up to the top third.
So what would that be? That's 36, 18. So 18th? 18th or better?
Yeah. Okay? Then raises.
That's a lot of money. And that's a lot of money for, and even coming from Chicago, that's a lot of money. So that's a lot of money for a small community.
Yes.
I mean, money here stretches way further than it does in Martinsburg, Charlestown, Wheeling, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a lot for this area. So
yeah. So that's my plea. Because all we hear, and you know, we hear this all the time. Well, you don't care about education. And I hate harping over it again because it's done, but it's like people didn't get it. There was only, what did we figure out? 9% of the levy went to education.
Correct. And that was even generous. The stuff we said was educational. But the superintendent said we have plenty of money for education.
Yes.
But I see why they have plenty of money. They're spending it not on education, they're spending on salaries.
So my thing is, I'm for a child's education.
Absolutely.
Our education here is not It's not good. Now I'm educated from Petersburg, but it's not good.
No,
it's not good. It's struggling. We need to help the kids get prepared for the future. That is the job. Listen, at the pool, I employ mostly people who are kids who are in sports. I mean, that's just who applies. I'm not being, discriminatory towards the other. It's just most of the time people who are in sports apply to the pool.
Okay.
So I understand. I like sports. I enjoy watching the basketball games. I work every Friday night during football season, so I never get to go to a football game, or I would. But
you get to go for free.
Yeah. But the thing is, and I'm not saying this mean to the kids because I love those kids, they're not making it in sports.
Well,
they're not.
You can't say they're not. You got to look back and say this is what percentage does.
It's like 0.001%.
It's a very small chance. Yes. Now they could get a scholarship, which would be great.
Which is great.
Which would pay for college.
Which pays for college.
Is
that's
such
great. I think one of my lifeguards is on scholarship playing softball. So that's good. So I'm not downplaying the importance of sports, but that's not our education.
Education is more important.
Yes.
And listen, Joe Pa in Penn State. As the school
he was
coach,
strict.
Education. You got to do this.
He was one of those that if it was you can't play with a 2.5 and you had a 2.4, he wasn't going in and saying let's bump this up a little bit. He was you're on the bench.
Yeah, because I hear they do that in Greene County.
Once again, that's
speculative.
That's not speculative. It's just rumors. We heard that during a certain sport, we won't say who.
Sport.
The coach went in and said, I want these grades brought up so that they could play. But haven't verified that.
But the number one most important thing of a school system is education.
And so
and we seem to have missed that. And people, of course, they rebut us. We don't care. And listen, people say you don't care about the kids. I sit back and I say that's so sad that their viewpoint of the world is so skewed, or they're just dishonest.
Yeah. It sounds like we're the ones that actually care about the kids and they don't. Because
listen,
we're talking about if this COVID money or this levy money went all towards education,
you'd have a lot more people vote for it.
We have the best computer labs, the best science labs, the best math texts. I don't. I'm sure that there's stuff that's can help with really teaching.
Well, some curriculum.
If we had the best of all that and that was in the levy, I'd be like, But I'm sorry.
I
hate to harp on it.
I'm still not a tax guy. But
I know, but I'm just saying, if something had to be passed, where you know, I don't care what people say. They've tried to spin and say, well, when they walk on that newly paved parking lot, it brings their grades up. Well, buddy, we will find out when these tests come in.
But it hasn't brought their grades up.
That's true. It hasn't.
It hasn't.
Because it was done last year.
A nice school, I totally get a nice school makes people feel proud. I understand that.
It does.
I get that. And I wouldn't disagree with them on that. The question is, that's good and great, but what are we doing to make sure that they get a job, they have a career to provide for their family, they can have a home. And so what this tells me from the election is that 49.5% of Petersburg or Grand County voters do not like the kids.
Yeah,
because I saw what some people wrote on a post about.
Oh, I never look at the post.
I looked at it and I laughed. I'm like,
I never look at the post. I could care less what people say.
Well,
I'm going to keep getting the message out.
Because when you read it, you're like, oh wow, you're not educated.
I did a Petersburg thing. Sorry, I couldn't care less.
You couldn't care less. I read them and I'm like, oh my god, please, you sound so uneducated. Please don't. It's just when you hear that, you're just like. So you assume that I'm assuming people are educated, obviously. So you're like, okay, so they're not doing that. They're not uneducated. They're just trying to be.
Well, they've been sold a bill of goods when people are going around saying this levy was, all for education or all for safety.
Yeah.
Well,
we've talked about it. It's not true.
Even if you added education and safety together,
it's not even 50%.
It wasn't even 50%. Yeah. So. But so my
education
plea,
has to be the top thing
plea,
of all five.
Again, so I'm going to call out their names: Ashley, Jared, two Jareds,
Aram Tower and all.
Yep. Doug Lambert, and
Mrs. D.
Yes,
I don't know what her first name is.
Barb.
Okay.
I'm calling on you. No more raises until test scores are brought up.
We improve amongst the whole county, not the third grade math. The whole county.
The whole county.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm calling for. You're probably not going to do it, but. That's what I'm calling for, and I hope the citizens start putting pressure on.
49.5% of the citizens were against the levy.
Yeah.
So I would hope that they would have the maturity and the aptitude to understand. Half of the citizens, they don't agree with the way money's being spent, or they don't agree with what they're asking.
More taxes, whatever. We don't know the reasons for no.
Correct. But how do you go in instead of being brash about it? How do you go in and how do you figure it out? Because anyways, I'm not going to give my opinion, but
so almost $200,000.
That's a lot of money
in raises.
That would give Union everything they wanted.
Yeah, and so that's what we're saying, and it's not like we're against raises, but I think they need to be. If we can't do it with the teachers, we can definitely do it with the administration.
Yeah, but Tony told us. He said at the end of each year, we may only have a $10,000 surplus. He's like, things are really tight.
Well, I know why.
Yeah, because they're paying themselves a lot of money to be tight.
No.
The Board of Education,
are not paying themselves.
Board of Education
Board
members
of Education is paying.
That are on there. Yeah. And this is the Board of Education for the last 2 years.
Yeah, they might be given recommendations that they need a raise.
Well, of course. I'm going to recommend I get a raise.
Yeah.
I said that once to my boss. He's like, listen, I think this other company, you can go work for another company. They would love to do that, I'm sure. Just some good luck,
Yeah.
So in the private sector world, that normally doesn't work.
No. And so that's what we're getting at. When you're dealing with taxpayers' dollars, that you're already, and I keep reiterating this, they're already getting almost $20 million a year in tax dollars.
Correct.
Already. So it's not like we're saying take all the tax dollars from them.
Yeah.
We were just saying we don't think that they're spending the $20 million wisely. Why are we giving them another 10? So
Moorfield is raising money for their track. Mm-hmm. They've already raised from just the community giving.
Okay, now what's the difference? Why is that acceptable, but not a tax acceptable? So
what's the difference?
Yeah, they're raising money for their thing, but why don't they just tax the people and
people should not be forced. And the tax in doing it means now, even though only 50.5% voted for it, 100% of people
let's tell the whole
forced.
Thing. There's 14,000 in Grant County, 16,000 Grant County.
I think the number of voters were.
But we have to take all citizens.
Oh, that are going to pay towards it. Yeah. So there's 16,000. I think is the number in Grant County.
So out of let's just say 15, round it off. So out of 15,000. only 1,000 people made a decision for the other 14.
1,400.
I'm just round numbers.
Yeah, about 10%. Yeah. So, but the difference is,
so they all have to pay that.
And people, they made comments, and I know you don't read them, but they made comments about you. JR, you asked the businesses to raise money for the pool. Well, what makes a difference? The difference is...
Oh, did someone say that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, here's...
No, let me tell you.
Okay.
Difference is, I donate a lot of money. I don't want you to force me how I need to donate my money. And then when I donate my money to you, you go and you spend it however, right?
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm giving and donating my money to something that's helping. So the Moorfield school system is raising money for the track. And now $40,000, that was maybe a week ago, maybe more now. But they've actually raised $40,000. So when you ask the community to give and donate, it's much different. And so
than just taking their dollars.
Taxes is saying, even if you vote or no, it doesn't matter. We're taking this money.
Yeah, because I didn't force anyone to give.
Correct.
Matter of fact, I think I personally only asked 3 businesses.
Understand.
That was the rest. I just put it on Facebook, and people were like, "Boom."
But I'll tell you,
and I didn't force them.
I'll tell you why people donated, and this is my opinion. The pool was run well. You're not making $73,000 a year.
Good Lord. I would love it. What if I went to the city and asked for a
$11,000
$19,000 raise?
That would be more than you make now.
Yes.
So that would be hard. Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
That'd be triple.
Yeah. Good luck with that. But you run the pool, you do it well. People are safe. It's a good investment in the community, right? And so I'm not saying schools are not a good investment by any way, shape, or form.
But it's what we're saying is just open it up for donations. You might even make more.
True. I mean, yeah.
Because some people, not all people, but we talk in generalities a lot of times. When people are taxed and then you ask for a donation, it's like
ain't gonna be happening.
I'm already taxed. You already get my money.
Yeah.
No.
It's much different.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's what it is. That's a massive raise amount. I would love to buy a whole Grant County Press, buy a full page and just put in there, not their names. 11 people for the administration, the Board of Education was approved over the last 2 years for 108. We'll get the exact amount in raises. Good job on voting yes for the levy, because now remember we posted give Grant County citizens a raise. You did. You gave 10 of them, and and the funny thing is these aren't even all Grant County citizens. So you gave Hardy County citizens a raise.
So and the thing was, that was just the ones that I knew were administrative positions. I'm sure there's more that I just going through.
If I was a teacher and I was busting my butt, that would frustrate me a lot.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
because the state tells you what you can get. That's
now they could have in the levy have asked for teachers raises. They didn't do that because Tony said the public thinks teachers make way too much.
Yes.
So I'm curious what the public's going to think now. I mean, listen, these 10 people make much more than teachers.
Oh yeah.
And some of them are 6-figure much more.
Yeah. So. Well, I didn't have time because I'd have to sit through every single person's pay and do an average to see. But just on a quick glance, most every person in an administrative position makes more than double. On a quick glance. I mean, now I'd have to average it out because I know there's some teachers that make well because, if you've been there 35 years, obviously you deserve to be paid on 35 years worth of service.
Yeah.
But you have to take an average, and then we got into a talk about why do you use median versus why do you use average and things like that. But yeah, I was shocked at that, and that was another concerned citizen just...
Yeah, someone brought this to us.
Yeah. And it's like they don't believe us. We didn't go looking for any of this stuff.
It's true.
We had to do our research on it. But someone
I have a job.
I know.
I don't have time to sit here and figure out what's going on.
I would so be happy to be done doing these podcasts because I'm not getting paid for them.
This is our donation back to the community.
Yeah.
We love the kids so much. We want to see them get educated.
Yes.
That would be horrible for us to say.
Yeah. It's take the $20,000 and there's your STEAM lab. I hate STEAM. I'm just going to be honest with you.
You like STEM better?
It should be STEM.
Arts is added.
I was in arts.
Yeah.
I was in the band. Was in the band. It did nothing for my education. Now, I will say, still play drums to this day. So it was a valid part.
It definitely doesn't make you smarter after you play drums.
No,
just for the record.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
I'm saying that being facetious.
Yeah, but at least I'm still more than a bass player. I mean, they only need to play on one string.
Oh, don't make fun of our bass player.
Two of our bass players.
I have 80,
I like picking on them.
I have 80 some keys I got to play on.
I know.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I just when they change that from stem to steam, I'm like, people are you're stretching. You're stretching. You really are. But it's not. We're not against extracurricular activities, so I'm for that as well.
Extracurricular activities are not a bad thing, and so people. I mean, people don't listen. First off, you learn people don't listen to our podcast, and people don't hear our podcast. They listen, but they don't hear. I think that the number one priority of a school needs to be education. And if we're kicking butt there and they're getting educated, I am totally for it. I played.
You played football.
I played football. Did such an amazing job.
I played tennis. I also played.
I played a trumpet.
I was in the band.
And I was in the chorus. I was Mrs. Glover's favorite student in the chorus.
Now that is the first lie you've said on the we've said on a podcast.
I don't think if you asked Mrs. Glover if I was her favorite student, I don't think she would say no. Don't ask Mrs. Glover that question. But no, I was in them, and they were good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them.
Now, I will tell you the difference between when I was in Cumberland.
Mm-hmm.
The band paid 100% for everything.
Gotcha.
The school didn't.
The boosters.
Yeah, 100% everything.